Dead and lovely campers, repeat the official camp song after me. I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know, but I've been told.
Other podcasts got no soul.
Other podcasts got no soul.
What I need is Ben and Steve.
What I need is Ben and Steve.
They got a show called Dead and Lovely.
They got a show called Dead and Lovely.
Oh, yes,
I wondered how that
indeed.
was going to go.
I know, right?
Wow,
I had a plan on this. I might have been thinking about it all week.
I thought you were going to start with, "Oh, I'm a happy camper."
The Happy Camper song.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dead and Lovely listeners, to the brand newest installment of Dead and Lovely. Here with the host with the most. Why, it's me, your good buddy, Camper Ben.
And me, Hollywood Steve Spratler.
Hollywood Steve Spratler. And we are reporting for our second annual yearly visit to Camp Dead and Lovely.
Welcome, campers.
We spend the month of June talking about camp slashers and camp slashers only. This is one of my favorite times of year because, as our listeners know, I love myself a camp slasher. God damn it, I love them so much.
But since we're almost out of them, we can't do a whole month.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're doing 2 weeks. But that means we can do it for more years.
Exactly right.
Because if we did it for 2 years in a row with 4 movies, we'd be down to very few worth talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you just do like a bunch of Friday 13th in a row.
And most of the... we're doing Friday 13th Part 4 next time.
Yeah.
And it's a stretch to call that a camp slasher.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know that any of them are.
No, they don't
just
camp
slashers.
in space after that.
They don't. That would have been cool, though, if it was a summer camp in space.
That would be cool.
Because that's what I hope happens in the future.
I don't know why I love the camp slashers so much. I think maybe it's just because, again, like living the very sheltered childhood that I had where I never went camping with other kids and stuff like that. I think it's just fun for me to like imagine what that must have been like.
Me too. I didn't ever went to a summer camp or anything. I kind of thought it was just a movie thing.
Right, yeah.
Like, I thought it was just like a trope of movies that summer camps existed.
Yeah. I honestly don't know if I know anybody that ever went to like a summer camp. Like summer camp and like boarding school, these are things that I think have only existed in movies for me.
Well, I knew people who went to Boy Scout camp in the summer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's to me that's a little bit more like organized and structured.
But people I've met who live in the Northeast and who live out west, a lot of them did go to summer camp.
Well, that's more of a thing, huh?
Yeah.
I guess in the South, maybe we do more like recreational camping, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not really such a big deal. It's like sometimes you just go out with your family on the weekend for camping or whatever.
They were going out to the country from the city.
We're already there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of less special since you're already there.
Yeah.
Did you ever do some good old backyard camping?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Whenever my mom, this was the summer before my sophomore year, my mom...
Give me a damn age. I don't know grades.
Fuck, how
this
old
is my
was
homeschool
Because I
problem.
graduated when I was 17, so I would have been 15 almost.
Okay,
It was like 14 about to turn 15.
I need that age or else I have to do maths. I don't want to do the maths.
My mom had been living in Sevier County, and we were living with my grandparents, and my mom moved back down to Jefferson County because she got a job here. And we moved in with her, and the first week that we lived there, I slept in the backyard because it was the first time she'd ever had a backyard, and it was fenced in and
Kinda
nice.
novel.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was fun.
Huh. Yeah, we did a little backyard camping at our old place and stuff where we just set up a tent, within like spitting distance of the back door, basically. But it was still kind of neat. And then later on in my like later teenage years and early 20s, we started going camping with my wife's family and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which was fun.
I did a lot of drunk camping as a teen.
See, that's the thing. I've never gotten to do the super drunk camp.
First thing you need to do, set up camp before you start drinking.
Okay, move. Yes, pro move.
Second thing you need to do, make sure nobody goes swimming without you knowing.
Also very, very important.
Yeah.
Man. Otherwise, you wake up basically using the tent as a blanket and all your friends are dead.
Yeah, we would always go to the lake, and there's actually this place near, where Black Oak Dock is?
Yeah.
There's a little before that, there's an old dirt road you can turn down, and there's a tree swing there that swings out like... You're already like 15 feet up on a cliff, and you swing out. You're like so high, and then go into the lake. It's amazing, real fun. But there's also a little island there that when the lake is down low enough, you can actually just drive onto it.
Yeah.
And that's what we would do, just drive onto it and camp there.
Speaking of rednecks and ropes and tire swings and stuff. So the other night, Kate was out walking the dogs, and I was down the street jogging on the track.
Yeah.
And she sends me a text message, and she's like, I just walked back one of the rental houses down here, and there was like a bunch of rednecks out in the yard drinking beer, and like one of them was wearing like a rebel flag shirt.
Oh, no.
And it very much looked like they were throwing a rope over a tree branch.
Oh, no.
That's what I said. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? And she's like, I really hope that they were just trying to put up a tire swing.
Yeah. Let's hope for that.
In my head, I was just thinking, how funny that would be if like they were really actually just out there trying to put up a tire swing, and somebody like calls the cops on them, and they're like, we're just so gosh darn persecuted.
Well, that is how they feel.
We're just out here trying to put up a tire swing.
That is how they feel.
Yeah,
I can't see why you would think we were doing anything by putting a rope up in a tree.
Yeah. While wearing this rebel
but
flag
when black
t-shirt.
kids get shot by the cops, it's
probably their fault.
But y'all, seriously, just because I wear this rebel flag doesn't mean I'm racist.
Heritage, not hate.
Yeah.
Steve, I like to crack open a cold one here before we start talking about our weeks and so forth here. We've got ourselves a co-beer that is courtesy of the notorious RDM. More on him here in just a second later as we get into our next proceedings. He brought us some beers here. This one is from Shorts Brew, which we've had a couple of their beers here on the show.
Yeah.
They have been amazing.
Yes, they have. They had that passion grass that they did with Lagunitas. That was
so
awesome.
Good. I'm excited to try this one. This is the Psychedelic Cat Grass, a triple dry hopped American India Pale Ale. And Roger brought us 6 of these things to share here. Of course, we're just, knocking them off one by one. We're not having them all tonight.
I bet you can't drink just one.
Bet you can't pull just one is the slogan. So he was telling us that this is a very special beer because I guess they like can it, ship it, make it, everything within like a week. Like, they were like an overnight kind
and
of
it's
thing
meant
or
to
something
be
like
drank
that.
as soon as you get it.
Yeah.
So
these beers right
we're
here,
doing that.
I think are now 11 or 12 days old, something like that.
Gosh.
And he said it's super, super awesome. It's got all kinds of kitty cats on the cover here that got 3 eyes and 4 eyes and whatnot. It looks to be a clear but dark amber color.
Yeah.
Little frothy head going on here. It's got a very hoppy aroma. I do enjoy how that smells very much. Go ahead and get you a pull right there. What you think about that?
Oh, man.
Is it getting
so
good?
Drinkable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the ABV fruity on this?
This is 7.4. It's kind of fruity, surprisingly. I thought it would be more resiny from the smell.
Yeah, me too.
It's more fruity than I expected. Real good.
That is oddly light.
Yeah, very light.
I figured that it would be a lot more, musky and dank and hoppy and like green tasting, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you have like, when like a buddy's like homebrewing a beer and it's very young and you taste it and you're like, it tastes like grain and stuff.
Yeah.
This doesn't really taste like that.
Roger was explaining this to me, and I hope I can do it some justice. But this is triple dry hopped, which is that's when they add the hops after the boil.
Right.
And you get different flavors from the boil than you do after the boil. So this has more of the like lighter, fruity, fun flavors. Even though you do get that strong resiny taste still, it's still light.
That is oddly drinkable and light and refreshing. Very, very
I
good,
like that a lot.
Shorts Brew has not let us down.
No. Way to go, Shorts.
And way to go, Notorious RDM, for bringing the pain.
Yeah, bringing the pain in person on Sunday.
Booyah.
Yeah, come and hang out with us.
Came down to Old Knoxville, hang out with us and my wife and old Brandon Wood and your wife.
My wife, yeah.
All kinds of us just hanging around.
Dogs.
Drinking drinks, enjoying a drag brunch at Revel Kitchen.
That was awesome. That was fun.
Which was so great. Fucking awesome.
We had a Dolly Parton drag lookalike singing. What was that song?
Like Get Behind Me, Satan.
Get Behind Me, Satan. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Go to Hell, Devil, and then I was like, I don't think that's what it's called.
I really wish you would have done To Hell with the Devil by Stryper.
There we go.
Now that would have been A-okay by me.
Yeah.
It was a great time. It was a lot of fun. I got pretty fucking drunk that day.
Yeah, you'd had a few before I got there, and I got a pretty good buzz on. So.
Yep. Well, that and on top of everything else, like, hey, FlimWatch 2019 update.
Oh, yeah.
I've been taking the Mucinex to help with my congestion problems I've been having over the past few weeks, which if you guys have been listening to the show, you're hearing my voice get progressively higher over the last several weeks.
Yeah, it was low like a couple weeks ago. And then last week, it was pretty low.
Yeah.
Now you're more
back to normal
level.
now. Yeah. But I've been taking the Mucinex to try to break all this stuff up, and I found out that apparently for me, if I take that stuff on an empty stomach, I get high as a damn lab rat. I don't know what the deal is, dude. Like, we got to the restaurant. Like, I'd taken it that morning, and I got to the restaurant, and I sat down at the bar, and I was like, I had one sip of champagne off of a mimosa.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel fucked up. I'm like, there's no way that a sip of champagne did that. And I was like, oh, it must be the medicine. I did it again today. Same effect.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to try not to cough all over y'all this episode.
I also had an interesting empty stomach situation occur this week.
Yeah.
I've been doing intermittent fasting.
Oh, yeah.
Where I basically, within an 8-hour window,
you eat all your food.
You eat all your food. And then for 16 hours, you don't eat. And, you know, it supposedly causes ketosis, raises your
it's supposed to be good for you.
Metabolism.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be generally just good for your body.
I got some friends who have been doing that, and even just after like a month or two, they're like, yeah, I just lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah. So I had just woken up, and it was probably a few hours before my set time to start eating.
Yeah.
But I woke up and I had a coffee, which is, you know,
like
intermittent fasting. You can still have coffee,
There's
tea,
no calories,
whatever. Yeah. So I had a coffee, and then my morning routine, coffee, and then smoke some weed.
Smokes dope.
Yeah. I got in my car right after I did that to go to the store, and as soon as I started driving a little bit, I was like, I'm way too high.
Oh no, it sunk in.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And then I got to the stop sign, and I was like,
yeah.
What do I
Getting
do?
the panic setting.
What do I do? But like your brain's like, you got to do this. This is so important. It
You're
wasn't.
in the car,
I was just going to the store.
Okay.
I could have turned around and gone a little bit later, but no. Went to the store.
You were on a mission. You were committed. You set into your actions.
And I'm just like, and I'm driving perfectly carefully.
Yeah.
Not even like, I'm sure no one would have known the difference, except in my car, I'm like, this is a battle of wills.
White knuckling it at 25 miles per hour. Very fucking intense.
I got to the store and I bought a Cliff Bar, but like, I'm just one of those people who's not comfortable eating the food before you pay for it. So I walked around and did all my grocery shopping.
Oh,
and
really?
Then, like, got out to the car and looked at my watch, and it was like 30 minutes before I was supposed to start eating, and I was like, no, I gotta eat. So shoved that Cliff Bar in my face, like, and then I sat there for a little bit and I started to mellow out.
Ease down a little bit.
Okay. Whew.
So the intermittent fasting, you're liking that pretty good?
It's getting easier to me, especially since I stopped drinking Diet Coke.
The Diet Coke,
yeah,
man.
I love Diet Coke, but I just been reading up on it. I knew it was an issue anyway, but like
God knows
I love
what
it.
The fuck is in that stuff.
Well,
xylitol and all that stuff.
Coke knows what the fuck's in that stuff too.
Yeah.
But it raises it spikes your blood sugar, which makes you feel hungry.
Yeah.
So even though you're drinking Diet Coke, you're not getting any calories. It makes tricks your body into thinking you're hungry. So I thought, you know what?
Purpose.
I'll stop drinking it and maybe it'll work, and it did. I've been a lot less hungry, and I've also been craving a lot less sweets.
Wow.
So
I've heard that stuff about how it does like completely deceive your body chemistry and stuff and make you want everything that it's basically eliminating.
Yeah.
My philosophy is like, if anything comes in a diet variant, that's stuff that you should absolutely just be having in moderation anyway.
Right.
So fuck it, just have the real thing every now and then. Don't have a diet Oreo every day.
Yeah.
Have a regular Oreo once a week.
And don't eat fat-free stuff. That's like fat-free yogurt. Yeah. There's no reason for that.
No.
You're not going to get filled up by it.
Right.
And so you're going to eat more anyway.
Yeah. And plus, a lot of the fat-free ones have tons of sugar in them.
Yes, they do. That's what they replace it with. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Get you some of that hardcore, thick-ass Greek yogurt. Yeah, that's what I love, man.
Some chewy stuff. Now, personally, Steve, I'm on that seafood diet.
I see food and I eat it.
You know the one.
Unless it's seafood, yuck, right?
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
No, I love seafood.
No, I do too. I was glad to have myself a good old hang and a good drinking day with the Dead and Lovely and company crew. Because
I mean, it wasn't some official get-together, but we had a whole bunch of folks.
It ended up working that way, man. I have frankly had a very shit week. I'm not going to get super in-depth about it because I don't think anybody wants to listen to a podcast with a blubbering, sobbing man.
Yeah, I get it, though.
But, you know, basically the quick rundown for anybody who follows me online, they probably already know, but since last November or so, my wife and I's little 14-year-old dog, Attila has been experiencing some really, really bad health, kidney failure and stuff like that. The amazing people at the veterinary clinic were able to buy him an additional 6 months of borrowed time.
Yeah.
And we had to put him down last week. And it, frankly, is probably like the hardest thing that I have ever gone through. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't imagine, because I'm with you were with Attila all the time, basically. He'd be hanging out with you in here while you're teaching your lessons and practicing and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, and he's lived with us everywhere we've lived.
Same with me in Salem. Like, if Salem were to die, it would be like, she's with me all the time. So I get what you're going. I mean, I don't get it entirely because I haven't had that, but like I get that. That's devastating.
It's the worst. It's seriously one of those things that, you know, first of all, like, I just want to thank everybody who has reached out. So many of my fans from my channel and stuff, folks. And fans of our podcast and everything have reached out and checked in on me and made sure I'm okay and given their condolences and stuff. And I appreciate that more than you guys know. Really awesome to see that kind of outpouring and relatability, and nobody being like, well, it's just a damn dog, get over it. When's your next video coming out? Like, nobody has been that way. It's been really awesome to see that kind of response.
Are people like that anymore? I guess there are still people like that. Yeah, because like, you see people who keep their dog chained up outside all the time and never talk to their dog or play with their dog. And
Kay and I were talking about this the other day.
Why the fuck do you have a dog?
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like when we were kids in the 80s, having an outdoor dog that just lived in a little dog house or one of those dog glues.
That you saw every once in a while.
Yeah, that was like a thing that happened all the time.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I feel like that's not a thing.
No, it's a lot less likely. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I'll be honest with you, man. It's like I haven't missed any human that I've ever known that's died more than I missed that dog. It's crazy, and it's like I know that people say it's like, oh, you know, they're like family, they're like kids. They really aren't. They really aren't, because you choose to have a pet. Yeah. You make that choice to say, I want that one.
You may choose to have a kid, but you don't choose. Well, you may adopt your kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that.
Maybe it's kind of like that. But, you know, the thing is like, you choose this animal, and then this animal is like, cool, I love you unconditionally.
Yep, all the time. You're my friend forever.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all they want, is just to hang out with you and be with you and stuff. Totally fucking amazing. He is absolutely the best dog of all time. And again, thank you guys so much, everybody who's reached out and checked on him while he was doing bad, and all that jazz. And again, amazing people at the veterinary clinic here that literally bought him half a year's worth of extra life. Yeah, you know.
R.I.P. to a good little dude.
R.I.P. Attila, man. I will see you at the crossroads. You were the best. But yeah, you know, getting a good old hangout time with everybody was just what I needed.
Yeah, it was fun,
as the cars might say. And I've just been trying to keep myself super busy this week. In between, that's pretty good approximation. It's pretty good.
Couldn't get all the way up there.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll put some auto tune on it later. All right. You know. But I've just been trying to keep myself super busy and work as much as I can in between intermittent, just, you know, breakdowns of sobbing uncontrollably whenever I see his bed out of the
I would imagine I would want to always have something happening instead of sitting around thinking about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. I've been drinking a lot of booze.
That makes sense.
Working a lot, teaching a lot, all that jazz, just in order to keep myself from dwelling on things too much. And I've been watching myself a couple of movie flicks.
What'd you see?
So last night we watched, finally, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Finally, because that movie's great.
It is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely amazing, dude. It's like from the minute that it starts, I was just enchanted by the art style, the soundtrack, the acting, the entire storyline.
It's awesome.
It's so phenomenal. Good. It's easily one of the best, you know, Marvel Universe movies. It was awesome. Everybody told me it was great, and I knew that it would be, but it was honestly beyond what I was expecting.
Yeah, I wonder if they're ever going to connect that in some way to the other movies, or like it would be interesting if they had Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire like do a voice of one of the Spider-Men. That would be cool.
I'd be on board to watch any Marvel movie in that style.
Yeah, I really think, like, if Sony, because Sony still does own Spider-Man, right? Like, they basically just gave,
kind of leased them out or something. Yeah.
I would like to see them give up on making live action Spider-Man and just stick with that. Like, include Venom, include Carnage, include anybody you want, because like, there's never been a problem with comic book animation.
No.
It's always been awesome. Like, Batman the Animated Series was so fun. Like, you can even go back to Super Friends and stuff like that. People loved that.
Well, but whenever it's done with integrity and respect to the source material, again, just like the Batman Animated Series was, or like the Frank Miller Dark Knight 2-part animated movie
I would say even X-Men the Animated Series, like, you go back and watch that, it was serious. For a kid show, it was serious from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, is like, to me, this animated format, I think, would be so perfect, especially for some of the Marvel franchises that are almost unfilmable.
Yeah.
To where it would be a 90% CGI movie anyway. Like, let's say Silver Surfer.
Sure, yeah. Like, just go ahead and make that a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I would rather have the full animated, like, I get it, I'm watching a cartoon experience, rather than have this, like, it's CG, I'm trying to fool you into thinking this really happened and we filmed it on a camera, but it didn't, but I'm just trying to fool you. Well, fuck it, man, just make it look animated. Give me the whole thing animated. That's just as fine. As long as the story and the acting and the voice work and stuff is still on par with what it would be if it was a live action movie. So you're getting, like, real legit actors like they did with this. Dude, like, Spider-Verse had Nick Cage. It had the main guy that played Miles Morales is the kid that's in Dope. You've watched Dope, right?
No.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Okay.
It's Dope, or is it The Dope?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But it's a Netflix movie about a kid that, like, starts dealing drugs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it is phenomenal.
Shamik Moore.
You would,
his name.
Yeah. Dude, you would love the shit out of that movie.
Let's check that out.
I hope it's still streaming right now because it's amazing.
Okay.
But you know, it's like they got legit great actors and stuff.
Yeah, Jake Johnson, Chris Pine. Who else was in there? Oh, John Mulaney did Spider-Ham awesomely. Nick
that was
Cage.
John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they had the Asian chick from Orange is the New Black doing Penny Parker, which was completely awesome. I love, too, how they made her, like, animation style more like anime and stuff.
I like that they stuck with putting together these worlds. So, you know, Spider-Ham can still pull a hammer out of his pocket.
Mallet. Yeah.
And I also say it's one of the only movies I've ever seen and thought, this could be really good in 3D.
Same, right? Yeah. I said the exact same thing. I was like, this is one of those few times that I think the 3D could have actually been pretty dope to see.
Would have been cool.
I loved it, man. I thought it was super fucking cool. What you been watching this week, Steve?
A little thing called WrestleMania 17.
WrestleMania 17? What is that from? 2001 or something?
It is.
You know
2001.
I'll tell you how I can do that math.
How's that?
Because WrestleMania started the year I was born, 1984.
Damn, so you just have to know how old you were.
Exactly right.
Year.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so it makes it easy. I mean, what happened in 2001?
Well, you may remember that the World Trade Center was attacked. I
do remember that.
That was unrelated to WrestleMania 17.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't remember that being
much
connected.
earlier in the year.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to watch a good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking at lists of people's favorite pay-per-views, and WrestleMania 17 kept popping up, and I was like, I don't remember that one because I think like around 2000 was when I was like just done with WWF for a while because it got silly.
Right.
It was when they acquired WCW and had way too many people and were wasting so many talented people.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was the worst. But I started watching it and there were like, I mean, Chris Jericho was the opening match. Him and William Regal. It was a great match. Hey, I mean, Jericho can always put on a good match.
Speaking of Chris Jericho, while he's not, singing in the band Fozzy, and wrestling and stuff like that,
and podcasting,
you want to know what one of his favorite movies is?
What's that?
Sleepaway Camp 2.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
One of his favorite movies.
I just listened to the interview with him with Joe Bob, and he didn't mention it.
Really?
Some bitch.
They did an episode on his podcast
about it
in like January of this year about it. Yeah, it's like a watch through. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. So Jericho was the opening match.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Great
and then there was like a good Eddie Guerrero match.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, it ends with Triple H and The Undertaker, which is a great fucking match. And then Stone Cold and The Rock.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I get why people loved it. Like every single match. Oh, and it has the second table ladders and chairs, which is the one where they set up like 4 tables and they do that bump off of the 15-foot ladder inside the ring.
Who was in that match?
The Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys.
I know exactly the one that you're talking about. Yeah. That whole thing is legendary.
Yeah, it is
so awesome.
So
man.
Watching it, I was like, I didn't even look up the card. I was just, I'm going to watch it. So I just started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is a good first match, and oh, this is a good second match. Oh, wait. What table ladders? What?
What did you watch it on?
Undertaker and Triple H.
Was it on like YouTube or something?
Yeah, I think you can find basically any of them on YouTube if you know how to search for them.
Nice, dude. I need to sit down and watch some of those. That's just good fun right there. Anyway, I think we should just start a wrestling podcast.
You probably should,
man. Yeah. You know, just go through the WrestleManias like one by one. Maybe that's a Patreon thing.
I would totally do that.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah. If people are into it, I would do it.
Let us know on the Facebook and Discord pages and stuff. If you guys want to have a Patreon only WrestleMania wrap up series, maybe that's what we do.
I would do that.
Totally fucking do that. Are you kidding?
I also discovered a new YouTuber called Gaming Historian.
Gaming Historian.
I'm already on for like 6 years. And he makes these like real in-depth histories of things like the Power Glove or the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out series, or like all those things, or why Super Mario Brothers 2 was what it was.
Yeah. Turnips. Yeah. Pyramids.
And they're like these like 30-40 minute videos that are real informative and well done.
That sounds awesome.
I watched the Power Glove one because, as you know, my most disappointing Christmas gift
letdown
of all time, Power Glove. Did you know? Recent hologram news for anybody who's watched it or listened to every episode of Dead and Lovely. You'll remember us talking about holograms when we talked about the toys we loved, or the toys that made us.
Oh, yeah.
The people who made the holograms that became popular in the 80s, the cheap stick-on holograms.
And all over our action figures and stuff,
AG Entertainment also developed the Power Glove.
No shit.
No fucking way, dude.
What? That's too much power for one company to have. Too much power. Bernie Sanders needs to break up that fucking corporation, man.
Yeah.
They've got too much going.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But the big thing that I would recommend that I got to this week was Tyler, the Creator's new album, Igor, which is fucking amazing.
Okay, so I don't know nothing about
Tyler, the Creator.
I know that when he started, his stuff was real controversial.
Yes.
And I've heard people say that this new record is really different.
Way different. It's, I don't know how to put it. It's nothing like him, but it's everything like his creativity.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's trying to be controversial at all in this. I think he was just like, this is the music I want to make right now.
Good music, maybe.
Yeah. And he did.
Is there a lot of like live instrumentation on it?
I would say so, but I don't know that. I wouldn't know the difference, honestly.
So I'm so out of touch with knowing what is cool, especially in the world of like of hip hop and stuff.
Right.
I've never known what was cool. It's always just been like a world that is out of touch for me. I've liked what I've liked and never really known or cared if it was popular or not.
Yeah.
So Kate just showed me some stuff by Lil Dicky this week.
Okay.
Are you aware of a Lil Dicky?
I am.
Like, we watched the video for Pillow Talk.
Okay.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
Yes.
In that it's not really a song. Like, there's music in the background, but it's kind of just dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a chorus. There's not a hook. Nothing's ever repeated.
Right.
It is just basically a conversation that he had with a chick that he was fooling around with.
Yeah, a lot of people say that modern hip hop is just SoundCloud rappers and Zancore rappers, and it's not. There are a lot of great artists out there. Like, seriously, Tyler and basically anybody in Odd Future has been doing great stuff in the past 10 years. I mean, obviously Kendrick Lamar, Vince Staples. Oh God, I could name a ton of people that like are making great and interesting and entertaining, but also different music.
Yeah.
But then everybody just thinks it's all Lil Xan and Tekashi 6ix9ine and that shit. But that's not it. There are people out there making amazing stuff. You just have to know who to look for.
Is it cool to like Lil Dicky? Is this bad, or should I be like?
I'd say don't give a shit what anybody thinks about what you like.
How about that? Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, because there's no reason. Like I like Cardi B a lot. People don't tend to like her. Some people say it's because she said she used to drug dudes and steal their wallets, and people are like,
I saw that.
That's like Bill Cosby. No, it's not. That is way different. If Bill Cosby drugged women and stole their purses, people would be confused.
Yeah.
But not outraged.
Not the same as people that be raping.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, really.
Uh-huh. And also, if you don't know that rappers usually used to be up to bad shit, maybe just check in on any of them. Snoop Dogg, maybe, for the murder conviction he almost had.
And if that's problematic, I recommend staying away from the world of outlaw country.
Oh, yeah. Those folks are way up to no good.
Actually have killed people.
Yeah.
Like, they're more hardcore than most black metal bands.
That's true. Because black metal is all about being, like, posing as though you're a badass.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or actually killing people.
Yeah, some people
But it's not that common.
Yeah.
It's not all that common.
Right. Unless you're in Norway.
Yeah, it is pretty common.
And you're Varg and stupid and tiresome.
Yeah.
And a white supremacist.
He's a
for some
fucking
reason.
idiot.
Yeah, he is an idiot.
Varg is a fucking
I hate,
moron.
Like, anytime I read anything he said or see an interview with him, he's so stupid.
Dude, he is just another guy, just another fucking white guy making videos himself talking about political issues in his car.
Yeah.
I wish that there could be some kind of internet-wide ban of white dudes in their cars talking about social issues.
Especially when they're wearing those, like, Oakley sunglasses that they all wear. Or an American flag hat.
If you've ever watched a video of a white guy in his car on his lunch break talking about a social issue and it has changed your life, you might be a redneck. You just might be a redneck. If you... You got me all coughing and stuff over here. My God. But seriously, fuck Varg.
Yeah, fuck Varg.
He's a fucking moron.
But hey, everybody, Jeff Foxworthy. I don't know why people suddenly turn on Jeff Foxworthy at some point, but like, he made us all laugh for a good period of time.
He did for a minute. And then
he didn't continue doing those jokes. We foisted that on him.
That's a good point.
We turned him into Larry the Cable Guy.
I don't think he ever, like, raped anybody or, like, abused his power and jerked off in front of everybody or
I don't think
like
he
that.
did. I think he just made some Shoney's commercials and had that TV show.
Okay, now that I do have a problem with.
Right, Shoney's is gross.
Nobody should be supporting Shoney's. Nobody should do anything to
exalt
that
so this week
company.
We got an advertiser. It's Shoney's.
Whoops. Backtrack.
Shoney's. They have good orange slices.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, Jeff Foxworthy never did anything to anybody, but Larry the Cable Guy sucks.
Leave Jeff alone.
Leave him alone.
Now, Steve, I heard a rumor that there was people what's been giving us money on that goddamn new Patreon account that we got.
That's true. And we want to shout it at them.
They've been giving us real life dollar papers.
Real life dollar paper. Now, I mean, currently, they're real life dollar paper sitting in a bank. We're not seeing them, but I believe them to exist.
I'm pretty sure that how you do it is you insert your money into your disk drive.
Right.
And it forwards it to us.
You close it.
Yeah. That's where the money goes.
Boom.
It goes through the wires.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, though, people have been doing it. They've found out a way to give us their money.
Is a series of tubes.
Yeah, it's a series of tubes, as we know. That's where the money goes through. I would like to shout them out and give them words of praise and thanks.
Let's give them some shoutings out. Shout out to John Latour. Thank you for donating to the show.
You're a good boy.
Shout out to Joe Marquez. Thank you, Joe.
You're a good boy.
Hey, Joe. Thank you for all that money of yours.
Yeah.
There you go. Shout out to Dave Barnett. Thank you for your money.
You're a good boy.
Cute rats. Shout out to Letitia McDade. We love you.
You're a good girl.
And shout out to Alan Evans, our homeboy.
You're a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
Ooh, yeah, the ladies love him.
Way bad. And of course, we cannot forget Tim Stone.
Tim Stone.
We love that man.
Tim Stone 316. He's a good boy right there.
Tim Stone 316 says, I just donated money to your ass.
Now, Steve, the subject of our podcast today is Sleepaway Camp Part 2 from 1988, which is, of course, widely regarded as the highest point of the mullet in all of society.
It's true. It really was the time where you would go to get your hair cut and they'd be like, you want a mullet?
Yeah, or something
or
else.
A
for
rat
some
tail,
reason.
or stair steps.
Yeah, which
or
do you
a
want?
lightning bolts. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as you turn this movie on, and you got that nice like campfire, scary movie scene and stuff where everybody's telling spooky stories around the campfire. You just can't help but notice how many glorious Kentucky waterfalls there are.
They're amazing.
All over that place. There are just so many damn mullets, Steve, and it really got me just kind of fired up.
Oh, yeah?
To spend some time here as we enter into the Preview Palace.
Welcome to the Preview Palace.
I just really wanted to talk about other noteworthy mullets in horror history, Steve, because there have been quite a few.
There have, and this is actually hard because when I would think, because you think of late 80s horror movies to be like, where were the mullets? It's like, well, it was every one of them. Like, every one of them had a mullet.
Yeah, everywhere I look, mullets.
Yeah, we had to pick just the exceptional mullets.
It's true. And whenever we started compiling this list, the first one that came to mind for me was, of course, the aforementioned Rowdy Roddy Piper's mullet in John Carpenter's immortal They Live.
That was like the tradesman mullet, where it was like
it's a blue collar mullet.
Yeah, he roofs probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Hangs sheetrock maybe.
Well, it looks like a guy who like probably wanted really to have long hair.
Yeah,
but due to his work,
right,
he couldn't quite have it. It's like that thing's gonna get sucked up in a fan belt,
right,
or caught in a grinder,
or just constantly in your face as you're trying to nail. You know,
exactly right. Yeah, you're on a roof and your hair's getting in your face. I've been there, and I'm here to tell you, no me gusta, no me gusta,
te gusta, no me gusta. I'm saying, man, that would be the worst. So I understand the mullet in that case.
Yeah.
When you know what? You're also saving your neck from getting sunburned. So
there's that too.
It's got some like reason behind it, maybe.
And how ironic and tragic is it that the thing that is preventing you from becoming a literal redneck makes you into the redneck? I mean, that is poetic tragedy right there.
That's what I think happened, is people were calling all these guys rednecks, and they were like, oh, it's because we got sunburns on our necks. Let's just grow our hair down.
Grow the hair out.
Just right here.
What do you mean I'm a redneck? My neck ain't red at all. My hair covers
look under
it.
Here.
Yeah, my hair covers it right up. What the fuck do you mean, Yankee?
Yankee?
Dang old Yankee.
Carpetbagger?
Yeah. Go on, get.
Go on, get. That's what we say here in the South to everybody.
It's an amazing mullet. I love a Rowdy Roddy Piper. R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rowdy Roddy Piper. That's a guy who had some mic command, and I fucking love They Live.
Yeah, he's great.
It's so amazing. A great movie enhanced by a great mullet.
You know what else was enhanced by great mullets?
Tell me.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
It's
oh my God.
full of great mullets. But
so many.
Specifically, Kiefer Sutherland's is exceptional.
Yeah, his is exceptional because he's got the thing too where it's kind of spiky and flat up top, but then in the back it is just draping.
It's amazing. But also we got the Alex guy from Bill and Ted. His curly mullet.
Dude, his is my favorite.
That one's insane.
It's almost like a Shawn Michaels mullet.
Yes.
This episode is very wrestling heavy.
It is.
What's going on here?
You start talking about the late 80s.
Yeah,
you're
you can't not talk about
wrestling. Was huge.
Yeah, that was kind of at the golden age of wrestling right there. Yeah, his mullet in that was amazing. He had those little ringlets. It was probably disgusting to the touch.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, I can't imagine
just
running my hands through that.
So much like Aquanet in it.
Just disgusting and vile. And of course, we can't neglect the sexy oiled up sax man's mullet.
Was that a mullet? I mean, it was a ponytail for sure.
I recall it being real short in the front. Maybe my memory deceives
I think
me.
it was just greased back.
Was
into
it?
a ponytail.
Oh, okay. All
but
right.
if he had a mullet, then
my God.
he wins.
Maybe a 20 out of 10.
That dude is sex incarnate.
Mm-hmm. That is a mullet heavy movie, and it's better for it. We did an episode on that
way back in the day.
Yeah, on I think the first Novampire month that we did,
November of 2017.
Yeah, you guys be sure to go and check that one out. Rate and review on iTunes, maybe.
Get to it.
Maybe you do that. Now, Steve, I'll tell you what. One of my favorite horror mullets, because listen, the mullet is ethnically diverse.
It's true.
It's not just for the white man.
Yeah.
It's for everybody.
Everybody
the mullet is for everyone.
was digging on mullets back in the day.
Including one Miguel Nunez.
Yeah.
From Friday
Juana
the 13th.
Man himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. And he's also in Return of the Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead. He's in a ton of stuff.
He's in a ton of stuff, yeah. Is he Spider in that? I think is his name.
Spider in Return of the Living Dead.
But in Friday the 13th, Part 5, He is in there rocking himself. Just a primo. I mean, kind of Jerry curly. Looks crunchy mullet.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a punk rocker, I think.
I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure.
But he's got that just interesting mullet. But he also wears the bandana with it.
Which I love that combo.
I mean, that's the best look you can get.
Yeah. That's a wonderful, wonderful setup right there. I love that scene in that flick where they've got that bathroom scene. Yeah. Like him and his chick together, and like one of them's in the bathroom and the other one's outside singing a song to him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really silly.
Yeah, it is.
Part 5 overall. Part 5. Just a very fucking silly movie.
It's silly. I do not like it, but it's got some good kills.
I like it because it's so dumb. It's just
real
so dumb.
It makes no sense.
No. Yeah. And there's also like
the
no
first
gore
kill
and no nudity in it.
is in no way involves Jason. I mean, no kill in the movie involves Jason, but the first kill is just somebody else killing somebody.
Yeah, pretty much. I love it. It's a good movie. I'm gonna enjoy that.
But hey, let's stick in the Friday the 13th verse, because there are a ton of mullets in Friday the 13th
obviously
movies.
Covered
but
up.
The one you gotta see is Kane Hodder's mullet in Jason Goes to Hell. Because Kane Hodder, of course, plays Jason.
Yeah.
But he does a cameo as another guy, and he's got, I guess, what was his hair at the time.
Oh, no shit.
And it's just this long, like, curly-ish, like, sort of fluffed mullet.
Oh, my God.
And nothing on top. Just so, like, down... Like, just tiny bits of fuzz on top, and then huge bush mullet coming out the back.
He is displaying his supremacy out back.
And it worked.
Damn.
I immediately was like, yes, sir, whatever you need.
I can't wait to see it. It sounds very like Kenny Powers-esque.
Yeah, it's got some Kenny Powers to it, but more fluff.
I've never seen Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, it's not good.
That's what I have heard. I'm still looking forward to watching it.
Sure, yeah.
Because at this point, like, the fact that
it's on Netflix or
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the fact that I've been watching horror movies this hardcore for this long, and I know that I'm, like, about to watch the last, Jason movies that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's still kind of special to me.
Oh, okay.
That's like that's a neat Band-Aid to rip off.
Yeah, it is.
That
is cool to get to find out why people don't like it.
There you go.
Or maybe just love it and be like, you people are all wrong.
And then I also know that I've got myself a majestic mullet.
You sure do.
Huge fan of that. What do you know about Julia from Hellraiser 1 and 2?
I mean, not only is she the best part of the first Hellraiser,
the actual villain.
Yeah, but she's got a hell mullet, I would call it. Because it looks like a helmet on top, but then boof in the back. Hey, guess what's back here?
It's pretty serious, man. Somebody on another podcast pointed out that she looks very much like Mr. Heat Miser from, is that The Year Without a Santa Claus, I believe?
The Heat Miser.
And now that's all that I see.
Yeah, that is what she looks like.
Total Heat Miser. Like, that might have been our friends at Sailor Satan, I think, pointed that out.
Good call, guys.
And I adore that comparison.
Yeah.
She is truly a maleficent, evil presence in the movie. People always think, of course, about Pinhead and the Cenobites, and they think about the Hellraiser.
But they're not the villains.
They're actually not the villains.
Yeah, it's Frank and Julia.
Yeah, just a terrible, terrible fucking scumbag people.
Mm-hmm. Now, somebody might disagree that this is a mullet, Ben, but I'm going to say I feel it is in every sense business in the front, party on the fringe.
Oh.
Pennywise in the original It.
Pennywise the dancing clown. He does indeed have that.
That is a skullet.
That majestic creature called a skullet. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. He definitely has himself a legit skullet going on in that movie. And again, he's more evil for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know that guy, because like when he's down to business, it's bald, and when he's down to pleasure, it's a orange wild fro.
Yeah. And that business is serious. If it's down to the dome,
right?
You know it's serious. I did kind of miss that in the new.
Yeah, but his haircut I think it was a good update. I think the look of the Pennywise was more what a clown would look like.
Yeah, probably.
He had been around that time. Because the Pennywise in the 90s looked like Bozo the Clown, who was a clown from the 80s.
Right.
But Pennywise was supposed to be around in the 1800s.
1800s, yeah. Quick question. Did you watch the newest trailer for It?
Yes, I have seen it.
Part 2, I guess it is.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about that?
It looks great.
I'm on deck.
Yeah.
I'm on deck.
Man. I hope, it seems like since they did so great with the first one, it would be impossible for them to screw up the second one.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that they're battling with is the charisma of these kids in the first one versus adults in the second one. But it seems well cast. Yeah, Bill Hader and all them. Yeah, it's like Jessica Chastain. Seems like pretty good casting to me. And that scene, which I don't know, like I feel like complaining a little bit because once again, it's kind of like the newest trailer that we just saw reveals probably a great scene in the movie.
Yeah, but if you've seen the original mini-series, then you already know it's coming, or if you've read the book, you already know it's coming.
That's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, her having tea with that old lady.
Yeah.
That scene where it just like freezes on her face for like a few seconds, and then she just kind of becomes animated again. Very weird. But then that scene where like the old lady gets up to walk off, and Jessica Chastain is like looking at those pictures on the wall, and you see the old lady naked kind of peek around like the archway. Holy shit. I was like, and I'm done watching this. Oh my God. Yeah. I hope that it's good, dude. Again, like we talked about before, it seems like the cool thing is to watch this and be like, oh, they're fucking it up. It's not going to be good. Blah. Like, I want movies to be good.
I don't know who all these people are that are just angry about everything all the time. But
I wish my life was that easy.
I do, yeah. That was all you have to worry about.
Yeah.
People, just relax. Like, look at what's happening in the world, and when you watch TV, go, oh, good. This is not that.
Yeah, this isn't that. That's a good idea. That being said, I do think the new Terminator trailer looks stupid.
It does look bad. Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm sorry. If it's fucking 2019 and you're putting out a movie, the CGI should look better than Terminator 2, which came out in like 1991. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, dude. Especially when it's like James Cameron produced the damn thing. He made Terminator 2 undoubtedly one of the greatest action movies.
One of the best.
Of all time. It's unbelievable.
And that, I mean,
how great that movie is.
But that's just the thing. It's when you get rich enough that you're so disconnected from the world.
George Lucas.
Yeah, George Lucas or James Cameron.
Yeah.
That you're not making stuff that relates to the world anymore. You're making stuff that relates to your own weird association with the world.
Now, hold on. I'm tired of talking about Ridley Scott. Let's get back to James Cameron.
Let's get back to James
Terminator,
Cameron.
not the Alien franchise. We're talking about the Terminator.
Though James Cameron did direct Aliens, so
yeah,
we're still trying to.
And again, fucking nail, which makes me more disappointed in him.
I know. He directed Aliens. He did Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, like these 3 great movies.
Yeah.
I don't care about Avatar. It was the bit I saw was terrible and stupid, and I'm not gonna watch the next 5 for sure. I don't know why they're making 5 more already.
No.
Talk about hubris.
Dude, I don't understand.
It's like when porn's titled like Anal Coeds 1, and you're like, how do you know there's gonna be a 2?
Come on.
You know, though.
Yeah, of course people are gonna want to watch that. Yeah, obviously there will be
the
sequels.
Hubris of porn. I mean, speaking of hubris, though, this movie we're talking about today.
Woo!
This movie, Sleepaway Camp 2, they filmed it in a few weeks, took a weekend off, came back and filmed Sleepaway Camp 3.
My God.
Talk about hubris.
Like,
they didn't even know. They didn't even know if anybody was gonna watch the second one.
That's interesting. That's interesting because the original Sleepaway Camp came out in what, 84?
83.
83?
Yeah, so this was 5 years later. Basically, okay, so what happened was Robert Hiltzik, who wrote the first one,
directed,
he wrote a sequel because the first one was moderately successful on a low budget.
Yeah.
Which, if you can make a movie for barely anything and make $4 million or whatever, like, great.
And if you've ever listened to our show before, then you'll know Sleepaway Camp, the original, is
it's one of our faves.
Our fucking favorites. One of my all-time favorite horror flicks. I love it. Listen to our episode on that. It's a really fun episode. Actually, you know, I actually re-listened to our episode on it.
Oh, yeah?
Not too long ago.
How was it?
It's great.
That is a good episode. I remember enjoying it.
There's all kinds of stuff about the psychology of all the like sexual undertones and gender roles and stuff in that movie.
None of that in this movie.
Way far ahead.
Well, see, that's the thing is Robert Hiltzik wrote a sequel.
God damn.
And nobody wanted to make it because it was too dark.
I want to find that script.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see what he had in mind for the sequel.
Because the first one is pretty dark.
It's pretty dark and made money. And they thought despite the fact that this movie made money with the darkness it had, the darkness in this script is too far. Nobody will go see it.
Do you have any idea what it was about?
No idea.
God, man. I want to find out.
I would love... Well, here's the thing, though, that, like, I mean, he made his own sequel, Return to Sleepaway Camp, in, like, 2003, and then it came out in, like, 2007.
Is that the one that was never really finished, but it's a bunch of, like, cobbled together footage?
That's part 4.
My God. What did they do to this poor series, man?
But yeah, his Return to Sleepaway Camp wasn't good. But
so I heard,
in 2013, he announced that New Line Cinema had bought the rights to make a remake.
Oh, wow.
And Felissa Rose is in it.
Ooh, wait, remake or like a sequel?
It might be an extension. It might be one. It might be like the Evil Dead remake that's not really a remake, but like in the world. I'm not positive Felissa Rose is in it, but this is what happened. When they had the Joe Bob Last Drive-In, like the first one they did for Shudder, it was a 24-hour marathon.
Wow.
They did Sleepaway Camp, and he had Felissa Rose come in, and he was talking to her.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, and he asked her about the remake, and she shushed him. So that means she's under contract. She can't talk about it.
Okay, she got that NDA going on.
Yeah, so
NDA jam.
So there is something happening, and Felissa Rose is involved. So that could be great, and maybe it will be that sequel he wanted to make.
Well, judging by the commentary on the original Sleepaway Camp with the director and her, she seems cool as shit, and still
she is awesome.
Loves having been a part of the original and stuff. So I'd be very interested to see anything.
Joe Bob calls her every Last Drive-In episode where there's a dick. He calls her to get her assessment of the dick. Yeah,
awesome. That is amazing.
But yeah, she's great. So I do hope because like he basically like he started law school and sold the rights to make the sequels because he was like, well, this isn't going anywhere and I'd rather have the money. And so this group came in and bought the sequels, and their drive was not making money at the theater, but making money on video rentals.
Right.
And they did. They made money.
Well, that's kind of when like the notion of video rentals was still kind of a cutting edge thing.
Right. Yeah, 88, 89. So they were getting in on like, the ground floor, and it was smart. Because I remember seeing those boxes at the video store.
Absolutely.
And, like, you got this girl who's not Pamela Springsteen, and she's got the backpack with the Freddy glove and the Jason mask and a chainsaw or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, I know what that's going for. And then you watch the first 10 minutes, and there's a kill and boobs.
Yeah, done.
Long boob shot, too. Not just like a flash of boobs. So it was like they knew... And I would say even those little kids who are taking pictures of the boobs, that's like the representation of the audience they were going for.
Right, yeah.
They knew that young boys walked through the horror movie aisles looking for the ones they thought would have boobs. Mm-hmm. And this one just comes at it strong, and so does 3. They just, here you are, here are breasts.
That's what you're here to see.
Yep, and kills. This one, though, the kills in 3 are inventive and amazing. This one is a little light.
I haven't seen 3 yet, but yeah,
it's a bad movie. But
that's one of my prime like kind of criticisms of 2 here is that there's a few good kills. There's a couple of them, but most of them are not very good.
No,
and especially like when you're coming off of the first one, which the first one was very low budget, but still had some amazing kills in it, dude.
Yeah.
Like whenever the dude dies under the canoe and they pull his body out and he's got the snake coming out of his mouth and his nose and stuff. Of course, the bee sting death.
Dude, the deaths in 3 are so good.
Are they really?
You really have to see them. There's a firecracker in the nose death.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
Wow.
Dude, they're so good. But what it was just like, first off, they had to fight for the R rating for 2 and then fight for the R rating for 3. So you'll see like...
Do you mean that they wanted it to be NC-17?
No, they wanted it to be R, and it was going to be NC-17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, in 3, you'll notice some unevenness in the cussing. Like, somebody will be like, hey, fuck you. And somebody will be like, screw you, pal.
Oh, it's
and
that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, so they had too many fucks, so they had to go with a screw.
Trim down a few.
You'll actually see that a couple times in part 2, too, but mostly they had to cut showing the deaths. So you just see the repercussions of the death, and then later you see all the corpses.
Right.
So a lot of that got cut. But the effects that we do see look good. They're not the most amazing, but
they're okay.
What didn't you like?
Okay, so there's just a lot of generic stabbing deaths in this.
Well, that's true.
Stabbed.
But I mean, but when they're in the death cabin and you see all the different...
The gore museum, yeah.
You see that all looks good.
It does.
Yeah. So the generic stabbing deaths, but again, they had to tone down some of the violence, but they still were able to show cool stuff.
There's some cool stuff. Like I really like the barbecue death of the Shout sisters, where there's these two. I guess they're twin sisters, maybe? No, they're just sisters.
They're just sisters, yeah.
And they're always partying and getting stoned and drunk, drinking Mad Dog 2020.
Mad Dog 2020.
I was stoked to see the appearance of Mogan David 2020 in this movie, as it's actually known.
That is what it's called. That's insane.
Not Mad
Dog.
And I was stoked to see that. But then, she I guess they're all fucked up and stuff. But then Angela wakes one of them up and she's on a barbecue.
And the other one's already burnt.
Yeah, just this charred, blackened skeleton.
The reason they had to do that was that actress was only 16 or something. Yeah. And according to Georgia law, they filmed this in Georgia. According to the Georgia law or something, she couldn't be present when they were doing certain things.
Like kill scenes?
Like kill scenes. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But I like the fact that they just showed us the aftermath.
Yeah, that actually worked better, right?
Yeah.
Because it's you see her laying down and you're like, why is she laying there with just joints on her?
Right, yeah.
She fell asleep oh, my joints.
Oh, my joints everywhere.
But no, it's because she's getting burnt. So yeah, it was a good way to do it.
But there is a certain narrative inconsistency that, if you think about it, does kind of fall apart. Where it's
there's some narrative inconsistencies. Yeah, there are a lot.
We know that when she wakes up and she's on that barbecue grill, we know that it's her sister that has been charred.
Right.
But there's no way that she could look at that skeleton and be like, that's my
sister.
Yeah, she probably should have sat up and be like, who's that?
Who the fuck is that?
It's your sister. Oh, shit.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know if you'd really know that.
Dude, if you pay attention...
I know my sister's skeleton when I see it.
If you pay attention, this movie goes from day to night constantly.
Oh, my God.
Just a constant
shifting
of day to night. It makes and people are disappearing.
The burning's the same way too.
Yes. People are disappearing and they're really because in the first one, when a death occurs, the police come and it's a big fucking deal. And this Angel's I sent him home, and everybody's like, well, that's strange. Whatever.
Yeah. Moving on. Yeah, the barbecue death is good. I think kind of the obvious one that everybody knows and remembers from this movie is the chick that gets kind of drowned in the outhouse.
Well, yeah, because that's first off disgusting, but also really interesting that they chose to do that.
Yeah,
because it's disgusting, but it's also it's disgusting.
Yeah,
that's
also
what
that.
you want.
Also
you
that,
want
man.
something real gross in these horror movies, and that hits it.
And also, if you've ever used an outhouse before,
I
mean, it's raw,
just stagnant
dude.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're just pooping on top of other people's poop.
Ugh.
But that scene is so long and gruesome.
It is. It's the only one that really is.
Yeah,
because there's no blood. They were able to get away with it. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Even though it's the most disgusting of the deaths, the censor board looks at it and they're like, whatever. There's no blood.
Yeah, so it's not really technically that bad. Interesting. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. But yeah, it keeps showing her popping up and gasping for air, and then Angel forces her back down there.
Yeah, it's a good death.
It's so fucking nasty. There's a decapitation towards the very end of the movie.
Yes, there is.
Which looks pretty bad. It looks like a foam head that is just knocked off by a stick. There's clearly no connective tissue attaching that head to
the
said
head
body.
that they do put in the TV looks good.
Yeah, I assume that's just the
one
guy. With his head inside the TV. I assume.
Well, I mean, there was still makeup on him.
Yeah, it looks good.
It did look good. You're right. Now that I think about it, it probably was just a guy.
And at the end, too, when it shows the girl, with the leeches on her face and stuff, dead, that looks awesome.
That looks awesome,
It really does.
Yeah, I think if they could have gone for just stuck with what they had and not had to worry about the rating, the movie would both be more entertaining, because it is already entertaining, and I think it does a good job at trying to be funny, but it would have been a much better movie if we could have just seen the deaths the way they shot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not all bad. I mean, that one that we get right at the very first of the movie where Angela bludgeons that one with a log and then cuts her tongue off.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although I love how
Fake
hilariously
the
bad it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's that, and then the fact that like Angela hits her like on the left side of the head with the log.
Oh, and then
like,
she's bleeding out the other side.
Well, it's like the blood comes out the left side, but she grabs the right side of her head. Like, it's so bad on so many fronts. You know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other things in this where it's just like they clearly just showed like a prop knife moving across somebody's arm, and then somebody off camera just like splashed a mason jar of blood onto their arm. Or it's like, okay. Like, I can tell how you did this. You know?
So the acting in this is great. Right?
Are
you?
No.
What do you mean?
I don't think so.
It wasn't great?
I don't really think the acting's very good.
That's strange. Bruce Springsteen's sister didn't nail it.
No.
I think she's very charming and does the Freddy role well. Just if she could act, it would have come across so much better.
She's not good at all.
Yeah. I think they wrote like a real good idea of what if there was one of these slashers that was a woman.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'll give it props for doing that.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, there's never really been a great female
slasher
horror villain.
Yeah.
There really hasn't. I mean, Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, like all these other characters.
They go for it in this by making her both kill Freddy and Jason.
Yeah.
And make a mockery of Leatherface. Like, they're really going for it. If they had just had a little bit better acting, and if they could, I don't know if they'd put more into the budget, they could have gotten some of those deaths through. Because seriously, it's about money. You watch an independent film that gets an R, and then watch a big budget film that gets a PG-13, and the PG-13 is probably going to be worse.
Way more allowances are cut to that
if they'd had a little bit more money, if they got a little bit better actors, I think they went for name recognition with Pamela Springsteen and Renee Estevez.
Yeah.
Because she's Emilio Estevez's and Charlie Sheen's sister.
Right.
I think they went for that, and then they got the guy from a couple of Bond movies to be the
Uncle John.
It's like you could have just he's barely in the movie. Why would you pay this guy to do it?
Yeah, right.
And he's like like this. He's like a stage actor almost.
Yeah, he's acting his dick off in this. He really, really is.
Like, if they'd spent a little bit more money on the two leads, who were Pamela Springsteen and Renee Estevez in this could have been a better movie by far.
Yeah. I really don't like her as the new Angela. I really, really don't. Like, I found her like.
I think it's the way
annoying.
the character's written too, because it's not like the Angela we know.
There's nothing about her that is similar to Angela. And before I start talking about this,
good.
I gotta wet my whistle. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that cough and that congestion coming back on me here right now. That thing is parched.
Parched, man.
That thing ain't whistling a tune at all. How about we have ourselves a Pontoon Brewing Goats on Boats?
Yeah, this was sent to us by Ryan Garnes,
and he said that
it is awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm excited for this one.
It is a sour milkshake IPA. That's a lot of buzzwords right there. With sour sop. I don't know what that is.
Nope.
Mango, vanilla, and lactose.
Okay.
This should be extremely interesting.
Sour, creamy, and
hoppy, I guess. Funky? I don't know. I'm really looking forward to digging into this. Whenever he sent us our little beer care package about a month ago, this is one of the ones that I opened it up and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to have this. Because I've never imagined what a sour IPA must be like. And like sour plus milkshake makes me think of like spoiled milk, which doesn't get good to me. That doesn't exactly get my...
You don't want a buttermilk milkshake?
No, I don't. Not a fan of that. Old people drink buttermilk on purpose.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Dementia?
Oh, okay.
Their brains are rotting.
Got it. Turn to jelly.
Yeah.
This thing is extremely not see-through. What's the word I'm looking for,
Steve? It smells sweet and sour simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
kind of does.
That is cloudy, I would say.
Cloudy, that's the word I was going for right there. Yeah, it's more cloudy than a glass of OJ, I would say. Not a extremely frothy head on there, just some light bubbles and stuff.
The more I smell it,
does smell
the more I
good.
get that sour,
Yeah,
it smells good. Let me taste this one.
Why don't you nip them whiskers inside of there and let me know what you think about that. That is strange.
That is odd.
That is really strange. I think that it's one of those things where I'm like, I didn't know what I was expecting.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect out of this.
So I'm just kind of processing it. I feel like I need to take a few more sips and then get back with you about it.
Yeah, because immediately it's like sour,
And immediately
nothing else.
My brain goes, did this go bad? And then I'm like, maybe it's this way on purpose.
No, so now I'm looking at a couple of drinks, you do taste a bit more.
Yeah? What do you think about that?
More creamy. The sour kind of tastes more citrusy after a couple of drinks
instead of
just pure sour.
Yeah, it's like it's easy to forget that a lot of these citrus fruits are inherently
sour.
Quite sour.
Yeah, so like, it does come across more like with the citrus and the sour, like lime or a little bit, or like a tangerine maybe.
I think I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does. It has more of a lemony or limey acidic kind of citrus to it. Like a lot of the real citrusy IPAs that we enjoy have that like almost like creamsicle-y kind of thing going on, where it's like, it's citrusy, but it's also got this creamy thing going along with it.
This tastes like actual citrus.
Yeah, this tastes like actual fruit. Yeah. yeah. Like a lot of the ones that we enjoy are kind of far removed from what actually biting into an orange tastes like or whatever.
There you go. Pontoon Brewing has been coming strong, man.
Yes. They really haven't made anything that I have not liked, man.
All
the stuff that Ryan has sent us from them has been amazing. They have got it going on. I think I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like that first drink was just pure sour and I couldn't taste anything. And then, after you get over the shock of it, you're like, oh, it tastes like citrus.
Yeah, it's actually really fucking good. I'm very on board with this. Thanks so much, Ryan, man. We've had just some good old beers sent to us by good old fans here.
Yeah.
Just a good old boy.
Just some good old fans.
Okay, so Angela in this movie. Let's talk about her. Because I don't think that she makes any goddamn sense at all.
She's on a descent into madness at best, I would say, like, because she doesn't maintain a consistency, which you could say is bad writing, or the writing was intentional, where she starts out with a kill because, she's with boys late at night, and then, like, each kill is like, oh, it's supposed to be that sort of moralistic thing, but then it's like, you talk too much, and you're gonna tell on me. It's like, those things aren't moralistic at all. So she's just sort of descending into madness. But then in the next movie, it's like she is again looking for justifications. But again, she's insane. It's just not fun, I would say, is the way to look at it. Like,
no.
You want to be, because especially on this, where they're showing her so much, and you're seeing the kills, not from a POV shot, but just watching it like she's doing it to somebody instead of being the one doing it.
Yeah.
It should be more entertaining and more consistent instead of all over the place and a lot of times just not entertaining at all.
That's a really good point that I hadn't necessarily thought about until you mentioned it, but the first movie is this almost giallo murder mystery thing where it's like who's doing these kills? Like all the kills are POV, and the victims are like, oh, it's you,
right? And we're like, who am I?
Yeah, exactly. But all these kills are happening and stuff, and you find out that, of course, spoilers. I wouldn't imagine you're listening to this unless you've seen the first movie,
right?
Turns out that Angela's been doing the kills all along,
and Angela's a boy, named Peter.
And it's to get revenge on these people who have been picking on her and bullying her and stuff like that.
Right.
In this movie, they just kind of decided, well, what if she was like super moral and Bible thumpy?
Yeah.
Which makes no sense to me.
And also, let's, like, going from Angela being transgender to transsexual,
right?
Like, really took all the power out of it because transgender, this thing was forced on Angela as a child, and she's become this in reaction to it.
Yeah, being forced to be something that she is inherently not.
And then this, they're just being like, isn't it gross that some people get sex changes?
That's kind of the impression that I got out of it. Like, there's definitely some problematic stuff in here that seems very, like, transphobic. Like, she had a sex change. Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah.
She was crazy because she was raised as the wrong gender.
Right.
And you end up fucked up when that happens. Like, whereas the first one I thought was this very...
It's nuanced.
Very progressive.
Yeah, it was...
very ahead of its time thing.
Much more understanding of the psychology of somebody who's been forced to be the other gender.
Yeah.
By a crazy person.
Right. Which, like we talked about in the episode, it's like it also opens up a window into what it must be like to be, born one gender and the whole life be like, I do not feel this way.
Right.
And what a hell that must be.
Yeah, exactly.
The first one's very nuanced.
This one, it's just like, gross.
Yeah.
Yuck.
That's kind of the impression
Chicks
that I
with
got.
dicks. Yuck.
Which, at the same time, it's like, it really might be interesting, especially if the original writer-director of Sleepaway Camp is doing this new one, to see what he might have to say.
Oh, now?
Now.
Yeah,
in a climate where everybody is talking about transgender issues and gender issues and stuff like that. It might be really interesting and very cool to see what he might have to say now.
Right.
Because the stuff that I feel like he was saying in 1983 was 20 years ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and this is 40 years later.
Yeah.
So if he's 20 years ahead of the curve again, it's insane.
Yeah.
That'd be great, though. Like, at the time, it didn't hit people the way it hits people now when you watch the first one and you understand all those issues. At the time, people were just like, gross, at the end.
Yeah.
But now, like, looking back on it, you can be like, oh, it said a lot. This one says nothing.
No.
This movie says nothing. It has no philosophy to it.
No.
It's not diving into it. It's just trying to be another fun slasher that you can come watch kills and see boo.
Now, the thing to me is there was potential in this movie to have something that was a lot more interesting than just, I don't know, whatever. Angela's out of prison, even though she killed like 1 million people.
Oh, yeah.
She had a sex change. Somehow she ended up being a camp counselor at some place with no background checks or whatever.
And going by the name Angela.
And going by, her actual fucking name.
Right.
Like that would happen.
The kid who recounts the story was like, I don't remember what her name was, but her real name was Peter. Like, how does he remember that part?
Yeah. Yeah, and like, she's the angel of death, Angela
Come on.
Baker or whatever. Yeah, pretty dumb. But like, there was potential in this for other cool things to happen. Like, my idea that I was thinking of is, even if there was some way to get, Angela out of prison or whatever, and have her be a camp counselor.
Have her escape and pretend to be somebody else. That's way better.
Yes.
And also don't do the sex change thing.
Right, yeah, no reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, like, rather than having her suddenly be this, like, moral compass that's punishing people for showing their boobs,
right,
or flirting with boys or having foul mouths,
which was never her thing in the first one. She only killed people who hurt her.
Yes, exactly. And also, too, like, the ultra mega crazy aunt in the first one, there was never anything of her being...
That's a shame to not bring back...
I mean, absolutely so.
She says that her aunt was moral in this. She says, like, my
aunt was always saying, do right. And
but that wasn't from the original. No. They should have stuck with the spirit of the original, and they really should have got that lady back.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Because she was like the scariest part of the original. Yeah. Amazing. But it's like, it would have made sense if she would have escaped from prison or something like this as a boy or a girl or whatever. And she would have been murdering campers that were bullying other kids at the camp. Right. Yeah, because she's like, this turned me into a monster. I'm going to kill you for it.
And you could have still shown her the same way. You could have shown us that the whole time.
And you kind of could have been rooting for her as the fan doing that, being like, yeah, like
and
they turned her into this.
And then when she's saying funny stuff, you're like with her because it's like, yeah, okay. But then when she's saying funny stuff in this, it's like, well... You didn't have like you're just being a jerk.
Yeah, exactly, and getting all like Bible thumpy. It's like it's very like okay, all right. Yeah. I didn't really like that, man.
No, me either.
Or I even think it would have been a cool idea for the sequel if they would have involved Richard.
Right.
If Richard could have been the main character in this, like maybe even Richard's whole story is that growing up with his sister/brother,
right.
And then Angela going nuts at camp and killing all these people and shit like this.
Right.
And he was obviously very hyper aware of the people that were like bullying Angela.
Right.
He got fully aggro.
Right.
That whole movie, everybody's just fucking
aggro the whole time.
Fuck. Yeah. But it's like if he would have come back as a camp counselor under like a secret name,
that would have been interesting,
and would have been killing bullies or whatever. Cool, I'm down with that too.
He had done it, and they did another whodunit. And Angela was in the woods or something, and we still are like suspicious of him,
Yeah,
they could have done a ton of other things with it, but they just weren't interested in consistency or building a franchise. They wanted video rentals.
Yeah,
and they got them.
And the thing is, like Angela in the original is so, and she mentions it in this, quiet and shy and all this stuff, and in this
one, she's just outgoing and like boisterous and always has something to say to everyone. Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't
it's
think
such
that
a huge change.
Is a extension of the original Angela character whatsoever.
It's like when they did Deadpool and X-Men Origins Wolverine and made him the exact opposite of what Deadpool is.
Yeah.
Like
it is kind of like that, where it's like, did you even read anything about the original character?
That was an executive decision. I read up on that recently because David Benioff wrote David Benioff of Game of Thrones. He wrote the script for it.
No shit.
But he didn't have any power.
He wrote the script with the terrible Deadpool.
Yeah, but he didn't write that.
He didn't write it.
The executive said nobody wants the villain to talk.
Oh my god! What?
Yeah. And also Hugh Jackman helped with some writing too, and didn't add much. Basically, David Benioff got his name put on something that a bunch of cooks worked on.
Ooh.
But yeah, so yeah, it's like just so different than the character and not what you would want. Like, this could have been something completely different. They could have just made a different type of camp movie, but they wanted the Sleepaway Camp title to get the rentals.
Right.
But if they had just made this a different type of summer camp movie and took out the transsexual stuff, I mean, it wouldn't be any better because of it, but it would definitely make it easier to say that it's not disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're following up with Sleepaway Camp with this, it's disappointing. If you're just making this as its own camp slasher,
movie,
it's like, well, it's not great, but fine, whatever. Yeah.
Like, honestly, this movie would have worked better if it was, Bible Camp Nightmare.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been fine. Like, I would have been like, this is awesome. It's about a Bible camp, and there's this counselor that is so, like, fundamental that she kills the kids because they're, like, disobeying the 10 Commandments.
Totally.
You wouldn't have to modify this movie that much to make that happen.
Right.
And it would have been way better.
Yep.
Than just saying, this is Angela from Sleepaway Camp. And it's like, no, it's really not. It's really not at all.
That would have been a cool reveal if at the end we found out that the real Angela died and this is just some lady she met in the insane asylum, whatever, and she sort of took over her personality.
Yeah,
that could have been interesting.
There's so many better possibilities considering the characters that you have in the first one. I mean, like I said, the character of Angela, the character of Richard, her fully aggro brother.
Yeah, everybody's
the aunt that's just lunatic insane.
Yeah,
she's like dying for a movie. She's amazing.
Even though the acting of Sleepaway Camp the original isn't amazing, the characters are fully realized. They're real. Yeah. Like, you get that they're different people.
Yeah.
In this, like, I don't even remember anyone's name, really.
That's what I was going to say. Is like,
Allie's the girl that shows her boobs all the time.
Allie is boobs girl.
Molly is the good one.
Renee Estevez, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's kind of supposed to be the heroine, but it's like, I'm never rooting for her. I can't ever tell you anything about her personality. It's that kind of thing where it's like, just try to describe these characters without mentioning their hair color. You really can't.
I don't know any of the guys' names except for the guy counselor with that amazing mullet.
Yeah, TC.
Yeah.
TC. The Dave Coulier looking guy.
That guy, he's like a legit, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Like, especially in the 80s, he was in a ton of shows. And he was the punter for the Yale football team in the late 70s.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, but
hell of a mullet, too.
Hell of a mullet. I wouldn't say he's great in this, but I don't know if he had anything to work with.
I'll say that old Boobs McGee, Allie, is actually pretty good.
She's probably the best actress in this.
And I don't think she ever really did anything after this. I don't think she ever really did any movies.
I looked her up. Yeah, she wasn't in much beyond this.
She could have been something.
Not a lot of people were in much beyond this. Like, Pamela Springsteen
didn't do anything. I don't think.
Didn't really do anything except she did a movie called what was it called? Fast Food. It was also directed by Michael A. Simpson, who directed Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3.
Okay.
And it had Jim Varney in a non-earnest role.
Impossible.
And basically it's like The Stuff, but a comedy, kind of. They create this condiment that people go insane for.
What?
Yeah, but that was like her last thing that she did.
And speaking
she does have an extremely rich brother.
Yeah.
Who, I know if you have a rich brother, you still want to do your own thing or whatever. But that guy's got so much money.
It probably helps.
I'm sure nobody in his immediate family is hurting for money at any point.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. And speaking of Allie, how about those sex scenes in this movie?
Yeah, that's what sex looks
They're
like.
real floppy.
You know,
floppy.
when I perform cunnilingus on my wife, I just headbutt her in the stomach.
Yeah, that's what that means, right?
Up against an uncomfortable toilet wall.
Oh my god, dude.
And I do like, though, that she's like pushing his head down.
Yeah,
like, no, get
further,
it down. It's
lower,
down.
lower.
But again, that's more of her great acting in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah, the sex scenes in this are just floppy. Very floppy.
A lot of flop.
And then later on, like, she's banging that dude out in the woods, and he seems to be in just agonizing pain.
Yeah, I don't know if like, maybe he had never had sex before, and he was like, this is what you do, I guess?
I think he's on lewds or something.
Oh, okay.
It was the 80s.
Wait, did she pull a Cosby on him?
I think she pulled a Cardi B on him.
Oh, she Cardi beat him.
Yeah, she's gonna steal his wallet afterwards. And she's like, that was fun. You don't have AIDS, do you?
Yeah, what? What? You don't. That's not the time to ask that. You do that before. Before the unprotected sex.
Probably should, I guess. Yeah. I think they were just trying to be, topical for the times.
Yeah. For sure. Because AIDS was so big in the 80s.
Pretty big deal.
People loved it. They were like,
damn big deal.
AIDS.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It really was, though.
It really was.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And
Ronald Reagan didn't
fuck Ronald
give a
Reagan.
fuck.
By the way, this movie might be making 2 comments on Ronald Reagan because she was released. Ronald Reagan was the one who defunded all the asylums.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So maybe they're letting everybody know. Fuck Reagan. Maybe that's the deep meaning of this movie.
Maybe it is.
Fuck Reagan.
I'm going to ponder on that a little bit more. You might not be wrong about that. And, on the subject of problematic stuff presented in this movie, we've got ourselves some peeping Toms.
Yep.
Taking naked pictures of the ladies.
That's true. Without their permission.
I don't think that's very appreciated.
No, people don't tend to like for you to take pictures of them naked without their knowledge, or for you to find pictures of them naked and share them with everyone else.
Especially when it's blonde twin boys or brothers that I think one of which is probably on lewds or had a lobotomy.
That kid has some issue. Like, every time he says a line, it sounds like this.
No. I think he was lobotomized, or maybe a mumblecore rapper.
He also sounded like he was from Maryland or Pennsylvania. There are a couple people in here who have a Maryland, Pennsylvania sort of accent. Could
you give me a demonstration of what that might sound like? I'm unsure. Gosh. I can't really conjure up what that might sound like. I got the Philly thing in mind where it's like water.
Kind of like that. Do you want to go to the Poconos this weekend?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a strange accent.
Poconos. I think the alley girl kind of had it, and one of those kids kind of had it. But they did all their casting in Georgia, so I don't know.
P.S. How did those boys die?
I'm
not sure.
I think she stabbed one in the eye, it looked kind of like, maybe. Because
the thing is like, it looked like they were being held against the cabin looking into a window by like a rope.
Yeah.
And then the one that fell back looked like he had mascara around his eye.
Yeah.
I really could not tell what happened to him. Again, I guess they were trying to say like he got beat up or his eye got ripped out or something.
Yeah, I don't know how they died.
Not sure. They were looking for them party hats, though.
What is
party hats?
I get what he meant by it, but I literally have never heard anyone call erect nipples party hat.
It's not a word picture.
No,
that really paints an image for you. I don't really think so.
Someone says party hat, you don't go, oh, he means erect nipples, right?
There's a wet t-shirt in this.
There's a wet t-shirt. It's Allie again,
hanging out by the pool, and she's like, I guess I should take my bathing suit top off.
I get it. I mean, she's pulling the full on. What's her name? That's in Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah,
Linnea Quigley. She's like, I look great. Might as well show it off.
Might as well show it off, man. Get thrown in the pool. Little wet t-shirt action. Yeah. Are wet t-shirt contests still a thing? Does this happen?
I imagine bikers still exist. Why would?
That's a good point. Yeah, there's so much nudity, and it's like
it's so like pointed at the camera, like center of the camera, no reason.
Like, oh, you mean like these lifts up shirt? Like, just no. Like
the one girl says like, if you take all her bras and panties, you better get used to seeing these. Yeah. And it's like, cool. Like,
all right.
What a threat.
Yeah. It's kind of the ultimate in 80s horror in a lot of ways, where it's like it is a camp slasher that is nudity and kills, and also has references to Freddy and Jason, like the first on-screen Freddy and Jason. Okay. How did they not get in trouble for copyright problems with this? Is it because it was straight to video, and they're like, yeah, nobody's gonna watch this?
If you're making commentary on it, they're technically making some commentary on it. I'll get to what that commentary is in a second. But this is a meta horror OG right here.
Drop it on me.
Okay, so there were some meta horror movies in the 80s. The thing is, though, that they weren't the type of meta horror we exactly think about. It's more like the Fright Night meta horror, where
people are aware of vampire movies.
They were aware of vampire movies. The last
same with Halloween.
Film,
Halloween, they're watching, The Thing and stuff on TV.
Yeah. But that's just sort of real light meta horror. It's just an acknowledgement that horror exists.
Right.
The last horror film is a meta horror movie that's I think this is the one that has Joe Spinell and the main actress from Maniac in it. And she is a horror actress, and they go to Cannes, and then there's like a murder spree at Cannes. The Frightmare has a sort of similar bunch of kids that are into horror or whatever. Return to Horror High is a faux sequel to a movie called Horror High, or to a movie that was supposed to be based on true events. And Return to Horror High is a film crew comes to this high school to shoot this movie about the events.
Yeah.
But then another killer comes along. So
it's pretty cool. Movie and a movie. Yeah,
movie and a movie type of stuff. Waxwork also, they go through a museum that has like werewolves and stuff, and they all come to life.
Right.
But this movie specifically addresses other slasher movies. Mm-hmm. Like specifically by having one person dress up as Freddy, one person dress up as Jason, and then she comes along and cuts off Freddy's face and becomes Leatherface.
Yeah.
Like, these are just directly pulling those things in, which is something more akin to Scary Movie than Scream. Like, it's so far into the meta that it's, like, past.
Mega ultra name dropping. Like, naming actual franchises that are existing. At the same time.
Yeah, so they can say it's satirical or a spoof, or they're making commentary on it. So that's how they could get away with it for sure. But I think what they were trying to do is what I was saying earlier, is they were trying to say, like, Angela's better than all three of these. Like, she's the ultimate.
Right.
And also to remind kids of those other movies they like. Because kids' minds sometimes can be easily deceived with the simple reminder of something they like. Right. It's almost like spoonful
Super
of sugar
Mario
helps
2.
the medicine go down. Or Super Mario 2, yes.
It's like,
actually, this is the Super Mario 2 of horror sequels.
That is exactly it.
I guess Halloween 3 is the Super Mario 2 of horror sequels.
What the hell? Well, I won't even say that because there's no returning characters whatsoever.
True, yeah.
I'll say this is actually more like Super Mario 2, where it's just like, okay, so I'm pulling up turnips in Egypt, but I am Toad.
Yep. I know him from the first.
This is Mario. Okay, got it.
And of course, Princess can float. Duh.
Yeah, obviously, obviously so. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things about this movie that I couldn't help but notice is how it is clearly just trying its hardest to be a full feature-length movie.
It's really pushing that.
It is stretching and stretching and stretching.
It is an hour 20.
Yes.
The closing credits are real slow, and the dream sequence that happens near the end that recounts everything that happened in the movie slowly,
and it's just recycling the same shots like
that we saw.
It would be one thing if it was like POV.
If
you know what I mean?
A 4-hour movie, you might need a reminder near the end.
Yeah,
you're an hour in and you're reminding us what happened. Okay,
but it's like at least give us a different camera angle of what happened. Like, give me POV of Angela strangling that girl with the guitar string or whatever.
Something in the flashbacks, not just. Here they are. Here's everything that happened, but with a blue filter.
Yeah, like, hey, remember what happened 20 to 30 minutes ago? That's cool, huh? Yes, okay, anyway, moving on with the movie. That scene at the very end where she's chasing after Renee Estevez, and it's like, what's her name, Molly? I think her name's Molly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Molly's running. then Angela's running behind her.
Uh-huh.
And then Molly's running. And then Angela's running behind. Like, there are 6 shots back to back.
They really stretch it at the end.
And how about the ending?
Oh, gosh.
Angela meets up with that cowboy trucker lady.
I'm just too dumb to drink and too fat to fuck.
I mean, that is a hell of a quote right there.
And it made no sense because, first off...
Ain't no skin off my tits.
That's also what she said. But too dumb to drink is not a thing, right?
I don't think there's any limit on how dumb you can be to drink.
And that lady wasn't anywhere close to fat.
No.
Like,
I just don't understand where that fucking came from.
Was that just something they heard someone say and they were like, oh, that's great, we got to use it in the movie?
Was she like, okay, the same way this referenced Freddy and Jason and Leatherface, was that Large Marge?
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Maybe it was.
Did Pee-wee come out before or after
I think
this?
it came out in 87.
Yeah.
But that was the year this was filmed, so probably not.
I'll say it could have been.
It could have been.
I'm going to hold out hope. That's how it could have been.
I mean, I would have been fine if it was 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they could have cut this down to 45 minutes and it would have been like, yeah, fine.
Because there's really just no story. I mean, really, there is no story.
There's not, yeah.
Like, we don't get to see any kind of cool thing about how Angela escaped from prison, how she faked her identity and ended up being a counselor at this camp. I don't even know why she would go back to the camp. She clearly didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
At all. She got picked on incessantly and had a bad time there.
Yeah. And it's obviously not even the same camp.
Yeah, no, it's not Camp Arawak.
Yeah.
No, it's Camp, I can't remember what it's called.
Well, yeah, but like, it's a camp in Georgia. Like, just the look of it is like depressing.
Yeah.
Whereas the camp in Sleepaway Camp 1 felt like they were real. Actually shooting a movie at a real summer camp. This felt like they had a few kids on set each day. It's just like so sparse in the background most of the time.
But I guess to kind of wrap up my thoughts about that ending, it's like, it's so lame when you came from Sleepaway Camp 1, which has one of the most epic, iconic, traumatic endings of any movie ever. Yeah. I'm not even going to say any horror movie. Like,
no, it's up there with all the other movies, yeah.
Oh my dear God, the ending of the first Sleepaway Camp is legendary. I mean, actually legendary.
Yep.
And this ends with Angela killing some cowboy trucker lady, taking her truck, and then it's almost kind of
House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses, yeah. Or vaguely Texas Chainsaw, where it's like Molly gets picked up by, somebody who she thinks she's going to hitch a ride home with or whatever.
Right, but it turns out to be the killer.
And she's like, howdy, partner.
Uh-huh.
And that's the end.
Also,
horrible.
I caught that at the end, and I was like, what? It would have been real cool then with saying howdy, partner, if in the next movie she was a reluctant partner of Angela, like Angela threatened to kill her if she didn't help with this or that.
Yeah.
That could have, but it was just supposed to be funny,
I guess.
But it wasn't.
No.
It's just, whatever. Okay.
I don't love this movie, honestly.
I don't either. I get it.
Honestly, if this was not the sequel to one of my favorite horror movies of all time,
you might like it a little bit more.
I might give it a lot more credit.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, cool, it is 80s as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
There's mullets, boobs, murder.
Short shorts,
a summer
high
camp.
socks.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. Like, I would probably cut it a lot more slack, but it's just like knowing how intellectual and interesting and thought-provoking and subversive the original was. I know a lot of people write off that original as just being like this dumb camp slasher and stuff.
I think mostly people in today, when they reassess it, say that it's great. But
I hope so.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who saw it in the 80s and haven't seen it since are like, well, whatever.
Yeah, she was a dick at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot more going on with the original than people give it credit for. And I mean, the director and stuff has even said, like, everything in the movie is highly intentional.
Yes.
I think it's a very smart, subversive movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to go from that to being like, I don't know, I guess she's back and she kills kids because they're fornicating in the woods. Like, they even use the term fornicating.
That is true.
Like a million times. It goes full biblical. Like, that's the thing about this. This goes full biblical morality.
Yeah, and that's just boring.
And that's built on nothing in the first movie.
Nope.
Like, there is nothing in the first movie that is based around
if
that
you're going to
stuff.
go for it, just like you said, go all out. Make it Bible camp. Make it like a very like biblical, maybe dictatorial sort of camp counselor.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'd like this movie better if it was like that. I'd like this movie better if it took advantage of the great seeds of characters that we had, of the aunt and Richard from the first one. I would like it better if it brought some of those characters back in, because there is clearly more to say about them.
And that weightlifting counselor.
Yes.
Who always wore the short shorts and the tight shirts.
Dude, he was so jacked. He's such a nice guy.
He is in in Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Is he?
Yes, I think. Yeah.
I need to watch part 3. Like, I'm going to go and watch part 3 because, like you said, I think it's on Prime or something.
Yeah, it's on Prime and it's only like an hour 20 itself, but it is more fun. It's not a better movie. Yeah. The story is the same thing, basically, but it's a lot more fun.
She's out of camp. She's killing people.
Yeah, I think they got in a groove by the end of the second one and took a weekend off, and they were like, man, I got a lot of ideas for the third one, and they were able to execute some stuff that was much more interesting, but still not add anything to the story.
One more thing I forgot to mention too is that the original has that orchestral soundtrack that is unsettling as fuck. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love the score of the original flick. It's so awesome. And this movie does have some awesome 80s metal soundtrack. It's got like Anvil on there. Yeah. All kinds of stuff.
And the Shit Sisters have a Poison.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Look what the cat dragged in, and a Dead Milkman album cover. Like, there's some obvious like nods to and use of good music, but it's not enough.
No. I mean, it just reminds you of like, this is an 80s movie. Right. It's like, okay, I could tell.
Duh.
I could tell. I wish they would have used that original score, but I don't know. I say that, but at the same time, it's like with the content that's in this movie,
you wouldn't want it sullied.
No, it just wouldn't have made sense. This movie is just so silly. Like, it never even tries to be scary or mysterious.
She's basically Bugs Bunny in a lot of ways. Like,
pretty much. Yeah. It's honestly kind of like if you would have gone from Nightmare on Elm Street to Freddy's Dead.
Yes.
It's kind of like that quick of a change where it's like, oh, where did this come from?
Which is basically, I mean, that's what they were emulating by this point. Like,
it's easy to forget that, by the time that 88 rolled around, I think we were already on Friday the 13th Part 5.
Yeah, and that's a bad one.
And I think stuff had already started getting like silly.
Yeah, 4 was already silly with the Let's Suck face and like the cockroach death and the invisible karate fight. Like,
right. Yeah. Things were already starting to get that way. So it's easy to forget that in that current, at the time, horror landscape, it was like, oh, okay, make the killer kind of comedic and cartoonish and stuff. Maybe they're just trying to jump right on top of that without giving the character any time to kind of slowly simmer up to that point. I don't know. It just really doesn't work for me personally. What are your like closing thoughts about the flick and how you felt about it?
Closing thoughts. There's a nostalgia factor for me because I remember watching it as a teen and for the boob reasons. Yeah. But now as an adult, it's like, man, those are really gratuitous. I hope those actresses were all for it. Like, I don't look at it the same as I did then, but I do feel like it does come across that the actresses were doing something they wanted to do, and that's good. But the movie, it just sort of is disappointing now as an adult to watch it and remember that it's a sequel to Sleepaway Camp, which is this great movie, but I still have fun with it. I think Pamela Springsteen is cute. I know you're not a big fan.
No, not a fan. Not a fan, man. She looks like Bruce Springsteen.
She does. I think she comes across as really like likable and cute and charming, but that is actually a detriment too because the character isn't.
Ansel don't act like that.
Yeah, I don't hate watching this movie. I've watched it a ton.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones. Like I've said about several other flicks. Like if you're having a Halloween party, and you're playing a bunch of flicks. Yeah, it's like because the story does not matter. Yeah. Like you just stand around and everybody looks at the screen when there's a kill going on and goes, oh, and then goes back to talking.
It's
perfect for that kind of thing.
A good one for like a horror movie picnic. But it's just not, there's not much value to it.
No depth.
So for me, this is probably about, I'm going to say a 4.
Four?
About a 4, yeah.
I think that sounds about right, honestly. Like, I'm such a sucker for camp slashers.
Yeah, that's why it gets a 4, because it's like, it's everything you want in a camp slasher, but it's just not great.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of feel like just by being an 80s camp slasher, it gets an automatic, like, 3 points on the board. Yeah. But really, there's just no depth to it.
No.
Whatsoever. You know, I don't feel like there's any cool subtext here. There's a ways to finding good ways to continue using some of those characters in the first one. And as I've said several times, the first is one of my fucking favorites.
Yeah, it's just so perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it really, the twist comes out of nowhere, but even before you come to the twist, it's like a fun camp slasher up to that point. And then the twist comes in, and then all that other intermittent stuff with the dad and his lover and all that starts to make more sense.
Becomes way more interesting, man. Yeah, and it's got a lot of like rewatch value and stuff.
Yes.
Which to me, this has like little to no rewatch value.
No, you're not going to get anything new out of it ever.
Because like I said, even the kills aren't really that good, especially compared to part one. Dude, like the pedophile cook guy that gets the
that one was awesome.
And it's like his face is like pulsing with those blisters and stuff.
The kid with the snake coming out of the mouth.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like they had about $15 to spend on the budget for the kills on this. And they spent it on corn syrup, red food coloring, and I guess some fake leeches and mascara. You know, it just looks
ready to go.
Really, really, really cheap to me. So yeah, I don't love it. Like I said, I'm going to give it an automatic, like, 3 points on the board because it's an 80s camp slasher. Mm-hmm. I think, actually, I'm probably going to toss this like a 3.5.
That's fair. I would still say, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not going to take up your whole day.
Oh, no, it's an hour or 20, right on the dot, and, like, 8 minutes of that is credits. So, and it's definitely worth it to go through this one to just see the kills in part 3. I just think they're so creative. I think they did such a great job.
I look forward to watching it.
Yeah, but that movie is not good. Okay. I am not claiming,
for the record,
you're not going to have a great time with the characters, but then when they die, you're going to be like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll be sure to check that out and see if it makes me like this movie a little bit more. I know a lot of people really love this, and so you guys be sure to let us know what you think about it over on the Facebook page or the Discord page or Instagram or wherever you guys can find us. We're all
Dead
over the
Lovely
place.
Pod on some things.
Yeah.
deadandlovelypod@gmail.com. Blah, blah, blah.
Put in a little bit of effort. You're going to find
but
us.
we also do have a Patreon.
Ooh,
Patreon.com/deadandlovely. We're already almost at our first goal.
Woo!
And so we're preparing to make some merch. We're going to do a small run of teas.
Yeah.
And then probably do some smaller stuff after that. Some
stickers,
beer koozies, stickers, stuff like that.
Now be sure to stay tuned next week for week 2 of Camp Dead and Lovely, where we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, part 4, one of my favorites ever. Oh my God, I love this movie so much.
It's amazing.
I cannot wait to talk about it. Probably the pinnacle of the Friday
it's like the
franchise.
height. Yes.
It really might be about the best camp slasher ever made.
Yeah. But
it really might. I mean,
it's even hard to call it a camp slasher at this point.
Sleepaway Camp is better, yeah.
There are some people camping-ish in a cabin, but they're not at a camp.
Really,
but they are at a camp, technically.
Right.
Because they're like right down the lake from one.
I'm going to say it counts.
It counts.
I'm going to say it counts. I love this movie. I'm really excited to talk about it. So you guys be sure to tune in. Next week, we'll be giving you guys a big old deep dive on that thing.
Everybody be sure to get your swimming certifications if you want to go on the canoeing trip for next week of Camp Dead and Lovely.
Right, exactly. We got to have those consent forms from your parents, or else you absolutely cannot go under any circumstance. Don't be asking a counselor to sign your permission slip. We're not going to do it.
And Roger, stay out of the girls' bunk, all right? Hey, pal.
Hey. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, we have just been having a lot of fun and drinking beers, and you guys have been dead and lovely. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time, where hopefully I will have less coughing and phlegm fits.
Hopefully you will heal.
That was spelled Phits. Fits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, phlegm fits.
Phlegm fits.
Yeah, we'll find out about it. So you guys stay tuned next time. Say goodnight, Steve.
Good night, Steve.
Woo!
Bye.
So when is the last time that you threw up anyway?
It was probably 3 nights ago.
No way. Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
That recent?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it was a combo of taking too big of a hit out of my pipe and my pipe needing to be cleaned.
Ooh.
So I cleaned it right after that because I don't know what it was. It was just my body went, as soon as I took the hit, it was like,
got the old icky hit, huh?
Yep.
I can't imagine that was great.
No, it wasn't fun. It tasted really bad. And
I like to
hated
imagine that you took the hit down, and then before you even exhaled, you started vomiting. So you were like vomiting, and like smoke was coming out at the same time. Like
it may have been. My eyes were closed.
Yeah,
puking dragon.
Yeah, ancient Chinese secret.
I wonder if there were puke dragons, and that's maybe there were.
That's probably a strange subgenre of porn that you can find
puke
really
dragon.
easily.
Yeah, that's probably what it's called too. Puke dragon.